She hired a black handyman for one day. He built her a life she never knew she wanted. Natalie Whitmore stood on her back porch in the affluent Pearl District of Portland, staring at the rotting deck boards with mounting frustration. The real estate agent had assured her the 1920s Craftsman was move-in ready. A blatant lie she discovered 3 months into ownership. At 36, Natalie was a successful patent attorney at Morrison & Associates, pulling in a comfortable 6-figure salary. She could afford contractors. What she couldn't afford was the 3-month waiting list every reputable company seemed to have. Her assistant Gemma Park had suggested TaskRabbit. Just hire someone for basic repairs. You don't need a whole company for a deck. Which was how Natalie found herself reviewing profiles of local handymen at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, a glass of Chardonnay in hand. Most profiles were sparse. Blurry photos, minimal reviews. Then she found one that stood out. Malik Turner, 5-star rating across 200 jobs. Detailed descriptions of work. A professional photo showing a man in his mid-30s with kind eyes and a confident smile. She sent a message. Hi Malik, I have a deck that needs board replacement and structural assessment. Can you come by this week? His response came within minutes. Happy to help. I have availability Thursday afternoon. I charge 45 hour plus materials. Does that work? Perfect. 2 p.m.? See you then. Thursday arrived with Portland's typical autumn drizzle. Natalie left work early, changed out of her suit into jeans and a sweater, and waited nervously. She wasn't sure why she was nervous, probably because she'd never hired someone off the internet before. At exactly 2 p.m., a truck pulled up. Malik Turner climbed out, tall, maybe 6'2", with dark brown skin and close-cropped hair. He wore work jeans, a flannel shirt, and carried a well-organized toolbox. Ms. Whitmore? I'm Malik. He extended his hand. She shook it. His grip was firm, calloused from work. Natalie, please, thanks for coming on short notice. No problem. Let's see what we're dealing with. They walked to the back deck. Malik knelt, examined the boards, tested structural beams, made notes on a small pad. How bad is it? Natalie asked. Honestly, this deck is a safety hazard. These support beams are rotted through. The boards are just surface-level problems. You need a complete rebuild. Natalie's heart sank. That sounds expensive. Depends on who does it. A big contractor will charge you $15,000, $20,000. I can do it for about $8,000, including materials. But it's a full week's work, not an afternoon. A week? I can't. I work full days. I can't supervise. You don't need to supervise. I can work independently. You give me a key, I show up at 8 a.m., work until 4 p.m., lock up when I leave. You inspect progress each evening. Natalie hesitated. Give a stranger a key to her house. Let him work unsupervised. Malik seemed to read her uncertainty. I understand if that's too much trust for someone you just met. I can provide references. Homeowners I've done solo projects for. I'm also bonded and insured. But if you're uncomfortable, no hard feelings. I can recommend some contractors. Something about his straightforward honesty made her decision. No, I trust you. When can you start? Monday, if you approve my estimate. He pulled out his tablet, showed her a detailed breakdown. Materials, labor, timeline. It was more professional than some corporate bids she'd seen. This is thorough. Yes, let's do it. Great. I'll order materials this weekend, start Monday morning. As Malik left, Natalie's neighbor Barbara Chen peeked over the fence. Who was that? Handyman. Fixing my deck. He's black. Are you sure that's safe? You're giving him access to your house? The question hit Natalie like cold water. He's a professional contractor, Barbara. His race has nothing to do with his qualifications. Barbara looked uncomfortable. I'm just saying, be careful. You don't know him. After Barbara left, Natalie felt unsettled. She'd always considered herself liberal, open-minded. But was she? Would she have had the same hesitation about giving keys to a white contractor? She didn't have an answer. But she knew Malik Turner seemed more trustworthy than most people she'd met in her professional life. Monday would be interesting. Hello, my Stop Racism family. Thank you for tuning in today. Before we dive deeper into this beautiful love story, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your country and state in the comments below. Also, I'd love to know your thoughts. What did you think of the story so far? Do you believe love can truly conquer prejudice? Let us know in the comments. We love reading them, and trust me, your words motivate us to keep making these videos. Let's make this video reach at least 50 comments. Your support means the world to us, and it drives us to create even more meaningful content for you. So don't forget to comment, share, and keep spreading love. Monday morning, Natalie left for work at 7:45 a.m., leaving a key under the mat as arranged. When she returned at 6 p.m., she found the deck completely demolished. old boards neatly stacked for disposal, and a detailed note. Day 1, complete. Removed all old decking and identified additional rot in 2 support posts. We'll need to replace those tomorrow. Left everything secured for safety. Malik, the precision, impressed her. No mess left behind. Clear communication about unexpected issues. Tuesday, she came home to new support posts installed. Wednesday, the framing was complete. Thursday, new boards were going down. Friday, the deck was 80% finished, just needing railings and final sealant. But what struck Natalie more than the work quality was the small considerations. Malik always left the gate locked. He cleaned up meticulously. He left notes about his progress and any concerns. On Friday evening, as she inspected the nearly complete deck, her phone rang. Malik. Hi, Natalie. I'm sorry to call after hours, but I wanted to let you know I can't finish until Monday. The sealant needs to cure, and I want to do the railings properly rather than rush them today. That's fine. The deck looks amazing, Malik. Really professional work. Thank you. I take pride in doing things right. Oh, and I noticed your kitchen faucet is dripping. Not my business, but it's probably a worn washer. Easy fix if you want me to look at it Monday. After hanging up, Natalie realized something. In 1 week, Malik had fixed her deck, identified other issues, and treated her home with more care than the previous owners probably had. Saturday, her friend Charlotte Davies came over for wine. Charlotte was a tech executive, sharp-dressed and sharper-minded. This deck is gorgeous. Who did you hire? A handyman named Malik Turner. Found him on TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit? Natalie, that's risky. Did you at least vet him? He had great reviews, and the work speaks for itself. Still, you gave a stranger keys to your house. What if... Charlotte paused. Wait, is he white? No, he's black. Why does that matter? Charlotte looked uncomfortable. It doesn't. You know how people are. I'd be worried about judgment. Judgment from who? About what? Hiring a qualified contractor? About appearances. You're a successful attorney, dating that partner at your firm. What's his name, Brett? What does he think about you having a black man working alone at your house all week? Natalie felt anger rise. Brett and I broke up 3 months ago, and even if we hadn't, it's none of his business who I hire. Malik's professional, skilled, and has treated my home better than any contractor I've worked with. That's all that matters. But Charlotte's words nagged at her. Would people judge? And more importantly, why did she care? Monday morning, Malik arrived to finish the project. Natalie, working from home that day, offered him coffee. Thanks, but I don't want to intrude on your workspace. You're not intruding. I'm on Zoom calls all morning anyway. Coffee's fresh. As they stood in her kitchen, him gratefully accepting the coffee, her checking emails on her phone, Natalie realized something. This felt comfortable, natural, like having a friend over rather than a contractor working. I'll fix that faucet while I'm here, Malik said. No charge. It's a 5-minute job. You don't have to. I want to. You've been a great client. Trusted me with your home. That matters. The sincerity in his voice made her look at him differently, not as the handyman, as a person, someone with integrity, skill and kindness, and she liked what she saw. The deck was finished by Monday afternoon. It was beautiful, solid, level, sealed to perfection with custom railings Malik had suggested. As Natalie inspected the finals product, Malik packed his tools. Everything looked good? It's perfect, better than I imagined. Thank you, Malik. My pleasure. You have my number if anything comes up. I guarantee my work for 2 years. He started toward his truck, and Natalie felt an unexpected pang of disappointment. The week had been oddly comforting, knowing someone capable was taking care of her home, coming back to progress each day. Wait, she called. You mentioned other issues. The faucet, but what else? Malik turned, surprised. Are you asking for a full home inspection? Maybe. I'm new to home ownership. I don't know what I don't know. If you're willing, I'd pay you to do a walkthrough. Identify problems before they become emergencies. Sure, I can do that now, if you have time. For the next hour, Malik walked through her home with professional eyes. He identified a loose handrail, inefficient weather stripping, an electrical outlet that needed replacing, gutters that should be cleaned before winter. Your water heater is original to the house, 1998. It's living on borrowed time. I'd budget for replacement within the year. Natalie took notes on her phone, overwhelmed. This is a lot. It's a 100-year-old house. They need love, but nothing urgent except the outlet. That's a fire hazard. I can fix that today. Please, and maybe, could you come back, weekly, as like a regular maintenance person? I'll pay your hourly rate. You can spend a few hours tackling the list, and I won't have to worry. Malik studied her. You realize that's unnecessary for most homeowners. You could just call me when something breaks. I know, but I like the preventive approach. And honestly, she paused, surprising herself with vulnerability. I trust you. That's rare for me. Something shifted in Malik's expression. Okay, I can do Thursday afternoons, 2 hours weekly. We'll work through the list systematically. Over the next month, Thursday afternoons became routine. Malik would arrive at 2 p.m., work until 4 p.m. And Natalie, who started working from home Thursdays, would bring him coffee and they'd chat during breaks. She learned he was 35, never married, lived in North Portland. He'd served 4 years in the Navy as a machinery technician, then started his handyman business using skills learned in service. Why not work for a big company? You'd probably make more. Money isn't everything. I like being my own boss, choosing my clients, building relationships instead of just moving from job to job. He paused. And honestly, big companies don't always hire people who look like me for management positions. Being self-employed means I control my destiny. The casual mention of racism stung, because Natalie knew it was true. I'm sorry you've experienced that. It's reality, but I'm not complaining. I built something I'm proud of. That matters more than a corporate salary. His resilience impressed her. As weeks passed, their conversations deepened. He asked about her work. Patent law fascinated him. She asked about his projects. The variety kept life interesting. One Thursday, as Malik repaired a window seal, Natalie's ex Brett stopped by unannounced. Brett was everything Natalie's parents had approved of. White, wealthy, Harvard law. He was also condescending and self-centered, reasons she'd ended things. Natalie, we need to talk, Brett said, then noticed Malik. Who's this? Malik Turner. I handle maintenance for Natalie's home. Malik extended his hand. Brett ignored it, turning to Natalie. You have a handyman here while you work from home? That's cozy. The implication was clear and offensive. Natalie's voice went cold. Brett, unless you have actual business, leave. I wanted to discuss reconciling, but clearly you're busy with other things. After Brett left, Malik started packing his tools. I should go. No, he's an asshole. Don't let him cut our afternoon short. Natalie, I don't want to cause problems in your life. You're not, he is. He was always dismissive of people he considered beneath him. I should have seen it sooner. Malik was quiet then. Is that how you saw me? At first, as beneath you? The question hung heavy. Natalie thought about her initial hesitation, Barbara's warnings, Charlotte's concerns. Honestly, I don't know. I'd like to say no, but I definitely had biases I didn't recognize. Hiring you taught me that. She met his eyes. I see you now, Malik. Not as my handyman. As my friend. If that's okay? His smile was genuine. Yeah, that's okay. The Thursday afternoon routine continued, but the dynamic shifted. They were friends now. Real friends who talked about more than faucets and weather stripping. Malik told her about his sister Kiara, a high school teacher struggling to manage her classroom on inadequate funding. About his best friend Andre Jackson, who'd recently opened a coffee shop in North Portland. Natalie talked about the pressure of making partner at her firm, about her strained relationship with her parents, who disapproved of her divorce from Brett, about feeling isolated in her success. Why isolated? Malik asked one afternoon while fixing a squeaky door. Because everyone in my circle is the same. Wealthy, white, privileged. We talk about investment portfolios and vacation homes. Nobody talks about real things. Fear, failure, what actually matters. It's exhausting. Sounds like you need different friends. Probably. But changing social circles at 36 feels impossible. Everyone's established. Not impossible, just scary. But growth usually is. His wisdom surprised her. Malik hadn't gone to college, but he understood people and life in ways her Harvard-educated colleagues didn't. One Thursday, Natalie suggested lunch. You've been working for 3 hours. Let me buy you lunch? There's a great Thai place nearby. Malik hesitated. You don't have to. I know, but I want to. As a friend. Unless you're uncomfortable eating with clients. You're not just a client anymore. He smiled. Okay, but we split the check. Friends pay their way. At the restaurant, they drew stares. Natalie noticed but tried to ignore it. A blonde white woman and a black man having lunch wasn't unusual in Portland, or shouldn't be. But she felt the weight of assumptions. Malik noticed too. You okay? You seem tense. People are staring. They always do. You get used to it. Do you? Really? No. But you learn to not let it control your life. He paused. Is this uncomfortable for you? Being seen with me? No. God, no. I hate that people make assumptions. About us. About you. What assumptions? That you're, I don't know. That there's something inappropriate happening. Or that I'm some white savior. Or that you're, she couldn't say it. That I'm dangerous? Using you? Dating up? Malik's voice was gentle. Natalie, those are their problems, not ours. We're two friends having lunch. If they want to create narratives, that's on them. His Grace humbled her. How do you handle it? The judgment, the assumptions, the racism, subtle and not subtle. By controlling what I can control, my work quality, my integrity, my circle. I can't change how people see me, but I can be someone I'm proud of. That's enough. The conversation stayed with Natalie all week. She'd never had to think about race. Her whiteness was default, invisible, never questioned. But Malik navigated a world that constantly judged him. That Friday, her colleague at the law firm, Amanda Cross, invited her to drinks. We haven't hung out since your divorce. Let's catch up. At the bar, Amanda got tipsy and loose-lipped. So, word is you're seeing someone. Who is he? I'm not dating anyone. Charlotte said you have a guy at your house every Thursday. Some contractor? Natalie felt defensive rise. I have a friend who does maintenance. That's all. A friend who's a contractor? Natalie, that's weird. You pay people like that. You don't befriend them. The statement crystallized something Natalie had been feeling. Her world had rules, invisible but rigid. You didn't befriend the help. You didn't cross class lines. You certainly didn't form genuine connections with people outside your demographic. But Malik was her friend, possibly her best friend. He listened, understood, saw her without judgment. Amanda, maybe I'm tired of our world's rules. Maybe I want friends who are real. Real? We're real. Are you? When's the last time we talked about something that mattered? About fear or growth or purpose? We talk about bonuses and vacations. That's not friendship. That's networking. Amanda looked hurt. That's harsh. It's honest. And I'm done pretending surface-level connections are enough. Natalie left, feeling simultaneously free and terrified. She was changing. Malik was changing her, and she wasn't sure where it led. But she knew she couldn't go back to who she'd been. That Thursday, when Malik arrived, Natalie had wine poured, a first for their afternoons. What's this? Malik asked, accepting the glass cautiously, celebrating. I realized this week that you're the best friend I have, and I wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you, Malik, for seeing me, for being real, for making my life better. Malik clinked his glass against hers. Same, Natalie. You've reminded me that not everyone sees race first, that some people genuinely care about character. That's rare. They stood on her completed deck, the project that brought them together, and Natalie felt something shift. This wasn't just friendship anymore, or maybe it still was, but with the potential for more. The question was, did she have the courage to explore it? 2 months into their Thursday routine, Natalie's pipes burst during an October cold snap. She called Malik in a panic at 10 p.m. Water's everywhere. I turned off the main, but I don't know what to do. I'm 20 minutes away. Don't panic. He arrived in record time, assessed the damage, and worked until 2 a.m. fixing the break and cleaning up water damage. Natalie helped, fetching tools and holding flashlights. When it was finally fixed, they collapsed on her couch, exhausted and soaked. I can't thank you enough, Natalie said. Emergency plumbers would have charged a fortune. That's what friends do, help each other. Malik stood to leave. I should go. It's late. Stay, please. The guest room is ready. It's stupid for you to drive home at 2 a.m. when you have to be back tomorrow to check for additional damage. Malik hesitated. Natalie, a black man staying overnight at a white woman's house. People will talk. Let them. You've taught me I can't control other people's narratives. Stay. As my friend. He agreed. And the next morning, Natalie woke to the smell of coffee. Malik was in her kitchen, making breakfast. I hope you don't mind. I'm an early riser, and I figured breakfast was fair trade for the guest room. They ate together. Scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. And it felt domestic, comfortable, like something Natalie had been missing her entire adult life. I could get used to this, she said without thinking. Malik's eyes met hers. What do you mean? This. Easy mornings. Someone who makes coffee. Real conversation instead of rushing to work. Sounds like you're describing a relationship. The word hung between them. Were they heading toward that? Could they? Would that be crazy? Natalie asked quietly. Us? As more than friends? Malik set down his coffee. Natalie, I care about you. A lot. You're smart, kind, funny. But dating you would be complicated in ways you might not fully understand. Because you're black and I'm white. That's part of it. But also because of class. I'm a handyman. You're a lawyer. You make triple what I make. Your friends already judge you for befriending me. Imagine dating. Me. I don't care what they think. You say that now. But Natalie, interracial relationships, especially ones that cross class lines, face scrutiny. From both sides. My friends would question if you're slumming or fetishizing me. Your friends would question my motives. Your family would probably disown you. So we let fear stop us from exploring something real? Malik was quiet for a long time. I'm not saying no. I'm saying be sure. Be really sure. Because once we cross this line, there's no going back to simple friendship. Natalie thought about it. The complications, the judgment, the challenges. Then she thought about how she felt when Malik walked in. How Thursday afternoons were the highlight of her week. How he'd built not just her deck, but a space in her life for authentic connection. I'm sure, she said. I want to try. If you do. I do. But slowly. Let's start with an actual date. See how it feels outside these walls. They planned for Friday. Dinner at Andre's coffee shop, which also served evening meals. Neutral territory, casual, just testing whether their connection extended beyond the bubble of her home. Friday arrived with Natalie's nerves frayed. She'd told no one, not Charlotte, not Amanda, not her parents. This was private, exploratory, hers. Malik picked her up at 7 p.m., and seeing him dressed up, dark jeans, button-down shirt, made her stomach flip. He looked handsome, more than handsome. You look beautiful, he said, taking in her simple dress. Thanks. You clean up pretty well yourself. Andre's place was cozy. Exposed brick, local art, the smell of fresh roasted coffee. Andre himself appeared when they arrived, tall, with locks and a warm smile. So, this is the famous Natalie. Malik talks about you constantly. He does. Andre grinned. Constantly. Natalie said the funniest thing. Natalie's brilliant. Natalie made coffee exactly right. Man smitten. Malik looked embarrassed. Andre, shut up. I'm just stating facts, brother. Andre winked at Natalie. Dinner's on the house. Enjoy. Over dinner, salmon, roasted vegetables, excellent wine. They talked about everything except the elephant in the room. Finally, Natalie addressed it. Are we really doing this? Dating? Seems like it. How does it feel? Terrifying. Exciting. Right. You? Same. Natalie, I need you to know, I'm not here for your money or your connections. I'm here because you make me laugh, because you challenge me, because you see me as a whole person, not just a contractor or a black man. That's rare. You do the same for me. You see past the lawyer, the success, the walls I've built. You see who I am underneath. And I like who you are underneath. I like who you are. Period. They left the restaurant holding hands. A deliberate choice. A public statement. Natalie felt hyper-aware of stares, but also defiant. This was her life. Her choice. Her heart. How's this story hitting you so far? Tell us in the comments. If you're loving it, type 1. If not, type 0. We want to know what you think. The first month of dating was heaven. They kept it private, exploring their connection away from scrutiny. Thursday afternoons evolved into Thursday evenings. Dinner, movies, long conversations on her deck. But privacy couldn't last forever. Natalie's parents, Richard and Susan Whitmore, announced they were visiting Portland, staying at her house for a week. I have to tell them, Natalie said during one of their evening talks. About us. They'll meet you anyway. You're here every Thursday. I can skip Thursdays while they're visiting. No, I'm not hiding you. But Malik, you should know. My parents are traditional, conservative. They barely accepted my divorce. This will be harder. Because I'm black or because I'm a handyman? Both, probably. And I'm sorry for that. Don't apologize for them. Just be prepared for their reaction. Richard and Susan arrived on a Tuesday, their Mercedes loaded with expensive luggage. They toured Natalie's house with approval, pausing at the deck. This is beautiful work, Richard said. Who did you hire? A local contractor, Malik Turner. He's been doing maintenance for me. Regularly? How much is that costing? Not much, and it's worth it. The house stays in great shape. Thursday arrived, and Malik showed up as usual. Natalie met him at the door, nervous. My parents are here. They know you're coming. But Malik, I need to tell you. I told them we're dating. His eyebrows rose. How'd that go? About as well as expected. They want to meet you. Richard and Susan were in the living room, their expressions carefully neutral as Natalie led Malik in. Mom, Dad, this is Malik Turner, my boyfriend. The word boyfriend, said out loud to her parents, felt both liberating and terrifying. Richard stood, extending his hand with obvious reluctance. Mr. Turner? Mr. Whitmore, nice to meet you. Malik's handshake was firm, confident. Susan remained seated. So you're a contractor? How did you and Natalie meet? I built her deck. We got to know each other over several months. And now you're dating our daughter. Richard's tone was flat. That seems quick and unusual. Dad, Natalie warned. I'm just saying, Natalie has a tendency to make impulsive decisions. Divorce Brett, moved to Portland, buy an old house, now dating the handyman. It's a pattern. Malik's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed calm. With respect, sir, I'm not a pattern. I'm a person. And my relationship with your daughter is based on mutual respect and care. Of course, but you have to understand our concern. Natalie's from a certain background. She's accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Can you provide that? I'm not trying to provide her lifestyle. She has her own career, her own success. What I provide is partnership, honesty, and support. How noble. Richard's sarcasm was obvious. But let's be realistic. You fix things for a living. She's a patent attorney. Those worlds don't typically mesh. Richard? Susan interjected, her discomfort visible. Perhaps we should let them figure out their relationship. But Richard wasn't done. I'm being practical. Natalie, relationships need compatibility. Similar backgrounds, similar values. This man... Stop. Natalie's voice was ice. Malik isn't this man. He's my boyfriend. Someone I care deeply about. And if you can't respect that, you can leave. We're your parents. Then act like it. Be happy I found someone who treats me well, who sees me as more than a status symbol. Brett came from the right background and was emotionally abusive. Malik comes from a different background and treats me better than anyone ever has. Which matters more? Richard looked ready to argue, but Susan touched his arm. Richard, let it go. After Malik left, earlier than planned, to de-escalate tension, Susan pulled Natalie aside. Honey, I know you care about him, but your father has a point. The racial difference alone will invite judgment. Add in the class disparity, and people will make assumptions about both of you. Let them. It's not that simple. Your career, your reputation, matter less than my happiness. Mom, I've spent my life meeting expectations, marrying the right man, building the right career, living in the right neighborhood. And I was miserable. Malik makes me happy, really happy. Why isn't that enough? Because happiness isn't everything. Stability, compatibility, social acceptance. Those matter too. Not to me, not anymore. Susan sighed. Then I hope you know what you're doing. Because this will be hard, harder than you think. That night, Natalie called Malik. I'm so sorry about my parents. Don't apologize for them. But Natalie, your mom's right about one thing. This will be hard. My family will have questions too. About whether you're serious or just experimenting. Whether I'm setting myself up for heartbreak. Are you having second thoughts? No. But I need to know you're committed. That when things get hard, and they will, you won't bail. I won't. I promise. Malik, you're the best thing in my life. I'm not giving that up because it's complicated. Okay. Then we face it together. 2 weeks later, Malik invited Natalie to Sunday dinner with his family. His sister Kiara, her husband Terrence Brown, and their 2 kids. Fair warning, Malik said. My family is direct. They'll have questions. Kiara, especially. I can handle it. Kiara's house in North Portland was modest, but warm. Family photos everywhere. Kids' toys scattered. The smell of home cooking. Kiara opened the door. Tall, natural hair in twists. Assessing eyes that took in everything about Natalie in 3 seconds. So, you're the lawyer. Come in. Dinner was soul food. Fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread, sweet potato pie. Natalie had never eaten anything like it, and loved every bite. This is incredible, she told Kiara. Our grandmother's recipes. Mama taught us before she passed. Kiara studied Natalie. Malik says you're serious about him. I am. Why? The directness was startling. Because he's kind, intelligent, makes me laugh, sees me as a whole person. And the fact that he's black, that doesn't factor in. You're not fetishizing him. Kiara, Malik warned. I'm just asking what we're all thinking. White women date black men for lots of reasons. Some good, some not. I want to know which category you're in. Natalie took a breath. I won't pretend race doesn't matter. It does. But I'm attracted to who Malik is. His character, his values, his soul. The fact that he's black is part of who he is. But it's not why I love him. The room went quiet. She'd said love. Out loud. For the first time. Malik's eyes met hers. Something passing between them that felt significant. Terrence spoke up. Natalie, I'm going to be real with you. Interracial relationships are hard. Society judges. Both communities judge. You'll face racism directed at Malik that you've never experienced. You'll have to be willing to stand up, call it out, risk your comfort. Can you do that? Yes. I've already started. My parents were awful to Malik. I called them out. I'm learning what it means to be an ally instead of just claiming to be one. Kiara nodded slowly. Okay, that's honest. But Natalie, you should know. If you hurt my brother, you answer to me. He's been through enough. He deserves someone who's all in, not experimenting. I'm all in. I love him. She turned to Malik. I should have said it before, but I love you, completely. Malik's smile could have lit up the city. I love you too. Have for weeks. Just wasn't sure if you felt the same. How could I not? You've changed my entire life. After dinner, Malik's niece, Janelle, 7 years old with bright eyes and endless questions, pulled Natalie aside. Are you Uncle Malik's girlfriend? Yes. Are you going to marry him? Natalie laughed. We'll see. It's still new. I hope you do. He's been sad for a long time, since Grandma died. You make him smile again. The observation from a child cut through all the complications. At its core, they made each other happy. That was worth fighting for. As they left, Kiara hugged Natalie. Genuine warmth replacing earlier wariness. You're good for him. Welcome to the family. But remember, I'm watching. I wouldn't expect anything less. In Malik's truck, driving back to Natalie's house, he took her hand. Thank you for handling Kiara. She's protective. She should be. You're worth protecting. Natalie paused. I meant what I said. I love you. I want this, us, long term. Are you ready for that? I've been ready since you asked me to stay for breakfast that morning after the pipes burst. That's when I knew. This woman is different. Special. Mine. Yours. I like the sound of that. They spent that night together for the first time, not just sleeping in the same house, but really together. And it felt like everything Natalie had been missing her whole life. Connection. Passion. Genuine partnership. Her parents had been wrong. Class and race didn't determine compatibility. Character did. Values did. The willingness to see each other fully and love anyway. That's what mattered. And she and Malik had that in abundance. 3 months into their relationship, Natalie's firm hosted a holiday party. Partners, associates, clients, everyone who mattered professionally. She invited Malik as her +1. Her colleague Amanda was shocked. You're bringing the handyman to our firm party? Natalie, that's bold. His name is Malik, and he's my boyfriend. Why wouldn't I bring him? Because it's a professional event. People will talk. Let them. But standing in her bedroom the night of the party, Natalie felt nerves. This was introducing Malik to her professional world. Judges, wealthy clients, her firm's partners. Malik sensed her anxiety. I can stay home. I don't need to go. I need you there. But Malik, I should warn you, these people can be judgmental, elitist. They'll make assumptions, like your parents did. Probably worse. They'll see your job and write you off. Then that's their loss. Natalie, I'm confident in who I am. A Navy veteran, a successful business owner, a skilled tradesman. If they can't see value in that, I don't need their validation. His confidence steadied her. At the party, reactions were mixed. Some colleagues were politely curious, others were coldly dismissive. One partner, Gregory Westfield, was overtly hostile. So, you're Natalie's wave friend? What do you do? I own a handyman business. Residential and commercial maintenance. How quaint. Must be quite different from Natalie's world. In some ways, but we both solve problems for clients. She handles legal issues, I handle structural ones. Different expertise, same goal. Gregory smirked. Not quite the same. One requires 7 years of education. The other requires technical skills, business acumen, customer service, and 4 years of military service. Malik finished. I'm proud of what I've built. Are you proud of what you've built through inherited connections? The shot landed. Gregory's family owned half of Portland's commercial real estate. He'd never worked a day outside privilege. Excuse me, Gregory said coldly, walking away. Amanda rushed over. Natalie, your boyfriend just insulted a senior partner. Gregory insulted him first. Malik just returned the favor. This is going to damage your partnership prospects. Then maybe I don't want to be partner at a firm that values pedigree over competence. The party ended early for them. In the car, Malik apologized. I shouldn't have snapped at that guy. Yes, you should have. He was condescending and racist, in that subtle way where he never says race, but it's underlying everything. You handled it perfectly. Your colleague said it'll hurt your career. Probably. But Malik, I've been thinking, maybe I don't want this career. Maybe I want something different, something meaningful. Like what? I don't know yet. But I know I'm tired of working with people who value the wrong things, who judge others by class and race instead of character. The conversation planted seeds. Over the next month, Natalie started exploring options. She volunteered at a legal aid clinic. She researched nonprofits that needed attorneys. She discovered a passion for advocacy, helping people who couldn't afford expensive legal fees. Meanwhile, Malik's business was growing. He'd hired his first employee, expanded services, was turning away work because demand exceeded capacity. One evening, working on his business plan, Malik pitched Natalie an idea. What if we partnered? You handle business strategy, contracts, legal compliance. I handle operations. We could build something bigger than either of us individually. You want me to leave law and work with you? I want us to build a life together. A business that reflects our values, that serves our community, that proves different backgrounds make partnerships stronger, not weaker. Natalie thought about it. Leaving Morrison & Associates would mean sacrificing prestige, salary, her parents' approval, but it also meant freedom, purpose, partnership with someone she loved. Okay, let's do it. Really? Really? I'm tired of living for other people's expectations. Let's build something ours. They spent that winter planning. Malik Turner Enterprises would expand, not just handyman services, but full property management, renovation consulting, and accessibility modifications for elderly and disabled homeowners. Natalie would handle business development, legal compliance, and strategic growth. 50-50 partners in everything. Her parents were horrified when she told them, "You're throwing away your career for a handyman?" "I'm building a business with my partner." "That's different. Natalie, you've lost your mind. This man has turned you against everything you were raised to value." "No, he's helped me see what actually has value, character, purpose, building something meaningful. Those matter more than status." Richard's voice turned harsh. "Then don't expect our support, financial or otherwise. If you want to throw away your future, do it alone." "Fine. Malik and I will build this ourselves. We don't need your money. We never did." She hung up, feeling simultaneously heartbroken and liberated. Launching Malik Turner Enterprises was terrifying and exhilarating. Natalie left Morrison & Associates with grace, giving 2 months' notice and maintaining professional relationships. They rented office space, hired 2 more contractors, both from underrepresented communities, and started marketing their expanded services. The business model was too simple. Quality work at fair prices, with focus on accessibility and community service. 20% of their projects were pro bono for elderly or disabled homeowners who couldn't afford modifications. Within 6 months, they were booked solid. Natalie's legal expertise helped them navigate licensing, insurance, and contract negotiations. Malik's technical skills and reputation brought in clients, but success didn't erase challenges. One client, discovering Malik was the owner, tried to cancel. "I thought I was hiring a legitimate company, not some black guy's side hustle." Natalie handled it with legal precision. "Our contract is binding. You signed for services. We've already purchased materials. Canceling now means breach of contract and legal fees. Your choice." The client paid, but the incident reminded them that racism was constant, exhausting. Malik also faced judgment from his community. Andre pulled him aside during a coffee shop visit. "Man, people are talking, saying you sold out, that you're with Natalie for her money, her connections. People will always talk. I love her. That's what matters." "I know, but be careful. When this business succeeds, they'll say it's because of her, that you couldn't have done it without a white woman propping you up. We're partners, equal partners. If people want to give her all the credit, that's their prejudice, not reality." A year into their relationship, they moved in together, officially, deliberately. Natalie sold her Craftsman, and they bought a house in Northeast Portland together. Equal investment, equal ownership, equal partnership in everything. Malik's Thursday afternoons, the routine that started everything, continued. But now he wasn't fixing her house. He was coming home. One Thursday evening, 18 months after the deck project that brought them together, Malik had dinner ready when Natalie got home. Candles, wine, her favorite pasta dish. "What's this?" she asked. "Celebrating. It's been 18 months since you hired me for one day. Best hiring decision I ever made. You hired me to build a deck. I ended up building a life, our life. And Natalie, I want to keep building. Together, officially." He knelt, pulling out a ring. Not expensive. Malik wasn't that guy. But meaningful, beautiful, perfectly them. "Natalie Whitmore, you changed everything for me. You saw past my job, my race, my circumstances to who I am. You challenged me to dream bigger. You fought beside me when the world questioned us. You're my partner, my best friend, my love. Will you marry me?" Natalie was crying. "Yes. God, yes. Absolutely yes." The ring slid on her finger, and they kissed in the kitchen of their shared home, surrounded by evidence of the life they'd built. Family photos, business plans, Janelle's drawings on the fridge. They married 6 months later in a small ceremony at Andre's coffee shop. Kiara was maid of honor. Andre was best man. Janelle was flower girl. Natalie's parents didn't attend, but Charlotte came, having gradually accepted their relationship. The ceremony was officiated by Terrence, who'd gotten ordained online specifically for this. "Marriage is partnership," Terrence said. "Equal commitment despite different backgrounds." Malik and Natalie's love challenges us to see past categories, race, class, profession, to the humanity underneath. They've built something beautiful from what others said was impossible. That's not just romantic, it's revolutionary. The reception was a blend of both worlds, soul food and wine pairings, hip-hop and acoustic guitar. Friends from every background celebrating love that transcended boundaries. Richard and Susan sent a gift, a generous check with a note. We may not understand your choices, but we love you. Perhaps we can try to do better. It wasn't acceptance, but it was progress. That night, in their home, Malik and Natalie reflected on their journey. "A year and a half ago, you hired me for a deck," Malik said. "You built so much more than that. You built us, this life, everything I didn't know I needed. We built it, together, equal partners, always." How's this story hitting you so far? Tell us in the comments. If you're loving it, type 1. If not, type 0. We want to know what you think. 5 years after hiring Malik for a deck repair, Natalie stood on the back porch of their home, expanded now with the help of Malik's crew, watching their 3-year-old daughter Zoe play in the yard. Zoe had cafe au lait skin, blonde curls, and her father's smile. She was brilliant, curious, loved building things with her toy tools. Malik Turner Enterprises had grown to 15 employees, 3 offices across Portland, and a reputation as the most ethical contractor in the city. They'd won awards for accessibility work and community service. Natalie ran the business side, while occasionally taking pro bono legal cases for nonprofits. She'd never made partner at Morrison & Associates, but she'd built something more meaningful. Kiara appeared at the sliding door. "You good? You've been staring at Zoe for 10 minutes. Just thinking about how different my life is from what I planned. Better or worse? Infinitely better. 5 years ago, I was a lonely attorney in a beautiful house, successful but empty. Now I have a partner, a daughter, a business I believe in, purpose. All because I hired a handyman. You hired Malik. That's different. And he didn't just build your deck. He showed you what life could be if you were brave enough to choose authenticity over expectation." Natalie thought about the journey, the judgments they'd faced, her parents slowly, awkwardly learning to accept Malik and Zoe, the business growing despite people doubting interracial partnership, the daily microaggressions, and the fierce joy of proving critics wrong. Was it worth it? She asked Kiara. Honestly, the complications of interracial, marriage, raising a biracial daughter, constant scrutiny? Is love ever not worth complications? Natalie, you and Malik have built something beautiful, not despite your differences, but because of them. Your perspectives, backgrounds, skills, they complement each other. That's what makes partnership work. That evening, after Zoe was asleep, Malik found Natalie in the office reviewing project proposals. "You okay? You've been quiet today." "Just reflective, thinking about how we started." "Regrets?" "None. But Malik, I want to make sure you don't have any. That I didn't, I don't know, trap you or take advantage or..." He kissed her, silencing the worry. "Natalie, you gave me the courage to dream bigger, to build a business I'm proud of, to have a family, to prove that my background didn't limit my future. You didn't trap me. You freed me. And you freed me from living for others' approval, from believing success meant status instead of purpose, from thinking I had to choose a certain type of life to be happy. So we freed each other. That's what love does." The next day, they received a call from a young woman named Sophia Chen. She'd just bought her first house and needed renovations. "I specifically want to hire your company because of your story. I read an article about you two, how you met, how you built a business together despite obstacles. I'm Asian American dating a black man. My family's been difficult. Seeing your success gives me hope." After the call, Natalie looked at Malik. "We've become a symbol, whether we wanted to or not." "Is that bad?" "No, it's responsibility. We're proof that love across racial and class lines can work, that partnerships built on respect can thrive, that courage to defy expectations leads to beautiful things." 10 years after the deck project, Malik and Natalie stood at the opening of their nonprofit, Turner Whitmore Foundation for Accessible Housing. They provided free home modifications for elderly and disabled homeowners, funded by profits from their business. Janelle, now 17, was their first intern. Zoe, now 8, helped at community events. Richard and Susan attended the opening, having slowly transformed from resistant to supportive. During the ribbon cutting, Natalie reflected on her journey. She'd hired a handyman for 1 day. He'd built her a deck, but more than that, he'd built her a life she never knew she wanted, but couldn't imagine living without. A life filled with purpose, partnership, challenges that made them stronger, love that transcended every barrier society erected. A life where Thursday afternoons weren't about maintenance appointments. but about coming home to a partner who saw her completely. A life where her daughter would grow up knowing that love had no color restrictions, that partnerships could bridge any gap, that character mattered infinitely more than circumstances. Standing beside Malik, their hands intertwined, watching community members celebrate accessible housing that would change lives, Natalie felt complete. She'd traded prestige for purpose, status for authenticity, her parents' approval for her own happiness, and she'd gained everything that actually mattered. Malik squeezed her hand. "What are you thinking?" "That I'm grateful for that broken deck, for your first Thursday afternoon, for the courage to explore what we could be, for this entire beautiful, complicated, perfect life." "Me too. You hired me to build a deck. I built you a life instead. We built it together. Equal partners. Always. Always." Their daughter ran up, grabbed both their hands. "Mama, Daddy, can I help cut the ribbon?" "Of course, baby," Malik said, lifting her. As they cut the ribbon together, 3 hands on the scissors, 2 brown, 1 white, symbolizing the blend they'd created, cameras flashed, and the crowd applauded. But what mattered most wasn't the applause, or the recognition, or the non-profit success. What mattered was that 2 people from different worlds had built a world entirely their own. A world where a white attorney and a black handyman loved each other so fiercely that prejudice had to step aside. A world where one day of work became a lifetime of partnership. A world where broken decks led to mended hearts, and where hiring someone for carpentry meant building a life neither could have imagined alone. Natalie had hired Malik for one day. He'd built her a life she never knew she wanted, and it was absolutely perfect.